And I'm getting mighty tired of your trifling ways and of listening to that jackass Bray.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
For old time's sake. As time goes by.
Okay, great. Okay, awesome. I had to turn my Bluetooth off because I didn't want the sound to be distorted at all.
Bitch, you might as well have just said, hey guys, I got Bluetooth in my car, because that was the whole point of what you just said.
And I am just going to get to this very quickly, you guys. Because I do not have a whole lot of time to get into this, but I wanted to talk about this very briefly because I'm having a triggering memory.
You want to talk about triggering? What's going on with your outfit? It's giving the Beverly Hillbillies and Farrah Fawcett meets the Village People crossed with a 1990s drag queen Halloween costume that someone failed miserably at. And please don't even get me started with that damn mustache.
Okay, so long story short, so many people have tried to rewrite my life story, change my narrative, make me into a caricature. And it's been whack, bogus, and all these things. When the truth is, if other people, the people who are behind doing this, told the real story of who they are and where they've been and how they got to where they are, it would either A, be boring as hell, or B, you'd find them so disgusting and despicable, you would wish you never heard of them or you didn't know them or whatever the thing is. It's just that simple, and I'm going to get into it. Now, October 2017, I was living in my brother's condo. My brother had a condo that he owned for over 10 years. It was down the street and around the corner from my mom's house, the house I grew up in, okay? I was living in California. I moved to California from Chicago back in 2008. October 2008, and I was staying in Miracle Mile in October 2008. That was my first LA apartment, right? Stayed there the whole time, 2013, summer 2013. I moved back to Chicago for 1 year because I got married in February 2013, and I was guilt-shamed and all these things about my mom having cancer, and I'm out in California just living my life, and everybody else is taking care of mom and all of these things and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, but she got sick after I moved. I moved my entire life to California from Illinois, and I'm a working professional, but fine. You know, I'm going to move back. Clearly, everybody must miss me. They want me to be involved, blah, blah, blah. Moved back, y'all. And it was the same as it always was, right? Everybody was, you know, busy living their life and doing what they wanted to do. And I had to readjust my life and what I really was about and what I enjoyed doing just so I could survive and thrive in Chicago.
So what she's saying is she's pissed because she came back to Chicago and people didn't bow at her feet and kiss her ass. She didn't have people lining up to hang out with her because nobody really cared about her. And she actually had to work. She expected the comedy clubs there to be handing her gigs and shows left and right. But she wasn't funny and people didn't like her, so she was stuck doing Uber, Lyft, Postmates, picking up waitressing gigs, whatever she could do, to earn enough money to make her feel like she was stunting on her sisters, making them think that she was doing a lot better than she actually was.
Fortunately, because of me having some accomplishments as a comedian and having skills as a working bartender, that was not a problem. That was easy to do. I found an apartment in Beverly, a well-to-do neighborhood down the street from my mama's house. So I moved back into the neighborhood I grew up in as an adult.
I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I thought you were always supposed to be doing better than your parents. Like, your parents work hard and sacrifice so that you can do better than what they did. But you think it's a flex to live in an apartment in the same neighborhood as your parents. As an adult. But okay.
As a married person, my husband and I had a nice little brownstone in Beverly, okay? Marriage ain't work out, whatever. Fast forward, I moved back to California summer of 2014, okay? Life goes on. Everybody's doing what they do. We're all doing what they do. What I do, what they do. I go back on the road. I go back to working at a restaurant in Los Angeles. It was one of the busiest restaurants in LA. Called the Yard House. Every time there was the Grammys, we took care of those people. People that came to eat and be a part of the award shows, they would come dine with us.
Sir, seriously. A, B, C, D, E, even F-list celebrities don't dine at the Yard House before or after the Grammys. The city is literally full of parties and functions that people actually eat at. Or if they're actually really craving something from somewhere, they're going to get carry out because they're not going to go sit in a glorified Applebee's. And they weren't dining with you. You were serving them.
Those were my clientele.
Not your
Every time the Lakers had a
clientele.
game, those were my clientele.
No, they weren't.
Sometimes the clientele was corny because they would come there to eat and take up our tables all day and they didn't want to really tip.
Oh, you mean like you used to do all the time? Probably still do?
Because they couldn't afford to walk across and get tickets at the stadium, which was next door from my restaurant. But we also got a lot of nice clientele because the season ticket holders, the players, Stephen A. Smith himself, because ESPN was right next to the Staples Center. All of those people would come and dine with us and eat with us, and that was my clientele.
They didn't dine with or eat with you. You served them. It wasn't your clientele. That was the restaurant's customer base. Even if all of this were 100% facts and you were serving A-list celebrities every night, what does that say about you? Because you definitely didn't get anywhere with any of them. With your goofy ass.
Okay? All right. And I also shared the story about how Jamie Foxx came in my restaurant one time and how I actually had the chance to talk to him, let him know, yo, I saw you and met you at Lavapalooza, but I didn't get to really speak to you. And because you in my restaurant,
She would be one of those dumbasses calling it her restaurant like she owns it.
I want to take the time to say thank you for everything Foxhole has ever done to me and blah, blah, blah. I shared
Yet somehow he didn't recognize your talent? What's wrong with him?
that story, and it's in one of my vlogs, specifically one of my vlogs I did while I lived in the Virgin Islands. Go back and check out that vlog so y'all can get all the backstory and the tea, because I can't make this video that long, okay?
Can't make it that long, but here you are going off on side stories just to try and talk yourself up.
So, that happened, that was all there. That was all up until then. October 2016, I moved into, my beach apartment in Redondo Beach. Very nice apartment. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Great experience. I was going to the beach 4 or 5 times a week.
Remember that she said that.
Enjoying my little life. My workout routine was on point because I was always jogging at the beach, riding my bike to the beach, all those things. However, that was the first start of my emptiness. Because I finally got to the neighborhood I wanted to live in from the moment I moved to Los Angeles, right? I'm spending $13.50 a month on rent. I'm going boat riding and doing all these things that I enjoy doing, but I'm like, okay, but now what? I don't own this apartment. I like this apartment and it's cool and I really enjoyed the apartment. But I'm like, what's next? Like, I actually want to be a homeowner. I don't want to keep paying rent this high and I'm not owning nothing. Like, I don't want to just walk out and be empty. And then at that time, my bookings had picked up because they saw me on Wild 'N Out. I taped Wild 'N Out the year before, so colleges was asking for me, things was happening, it was jumping off. And so I was home like maybe 3 days a week. I was home like maybe 3 days a week. I was going to the beach 4 or 5 times a week. I was home like maybe 3 days a week. I was going to the beach 4 or 5 times a week. I was home like maybe 3 days a week. I was going to the beach 4 or 5 times a week.
Why you always lying?
And I'm getting mighty tired of your trifling ways and of listening to that jackass Bray.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.